Hello and welcome to i24 News World Cup show, where it is now time to summarize. Today we will take a look at the two teams that made it as far as possible. Champions Germany and runners-up Argentina, following their way from beginning to end. With me here in the studio is our football analyst, Uriel Descal. Hello, Uriel.
Hi.
Two teams, two different styles, and one big final. Let's get started. Ahead of the tournament, Germany was seen as just one of the favorites to win the trophy. But after that huge semi-final win against Brazil, they became the clear front-runners ahead of the final. Even before that game, they were quite impressive, coming through a tough group stage. And even on their slower games, it seemed their victory was never in doubt. Merav Savir takes a look at the road of the Nationalmannschaft all the way to the final.
The German team has proved itself this World Cup from the first game. Thrown into a group with Portugal, the United States and Ghana, Germany outshined the rest. Versus Cristiano Ronaldo and the Portuguese squad, the Germans seemed unstoppable, winning 4-0. Against Ghana, they calmed down slightly, drawing with the African nation. And in their final group match, Germany did just enough to ensure the top spot in Group G, beating the US 1-0 in the rain and promising their fans more games.
It was a really good match. It was very wet and we all sweated a lot because the US boys kept the game open for a long time. But Germany scored a decisive goal and it was good for us.
Next up was Algeria, which proved to be a bit more difficult for the European giants. It took extra time to beat the African team 2-1. They didn't look like the same German team that showed up for group play.
The game was really hard work. The first half was very bad for the German team. The second half was very good, faster, but I really have to say we should praise the Algerians. They were very good at the back, defended with discipline, and the Germans had a really hard time, and we were lucky to get the win.
The quarterfinals is an all-European match between Germany and France, a fairly quiet game between two teams who scored plenty of goals in earlier matches. Deutschland survived, winning 1-0 because they were mentally and physically tougher than their opponent. But the most shocking match of them all was the recent semi-final against Brazil. The Germans looked unstoppable. Thomas Müller started the scoring in the 11th minute. But in the 24th minute, the party really started. Within 3 short minutes, Germany scored 3 times, embarrassing Brazil and shocking fans.
Super.
The match was wonderful. The 5th goal looked best. I was celebrating with a friend and we just cheered for Germany. That was legendary, unprecedented in any World Cup. Just great, wonderful. What a great World Cup. I hope we win. Final, here we come.
It's no surprise the Germans have made it this far. Unlike many teams, they have not relied on one superstar to carry them. And it shows in their performances and their record 8th final appearance.
Uriel, if we look at what brought Germany to the final, it's the fact that there's no clear star. They're a team. Anytime someone else can rise up, there's no Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo. It's a team.
Yeah, and everyone had his job. Everyone had his mission. You look at Mesut Ozil, who wasn't a standout player, but he had the most dribbles, most key passes. Most third passes in next to the box of the rival. Thomas Müller was the scorer. He was the one who put the finger in. You had Toni Kroos, who paced the team, and Bastian Schweinsteiger, who was the fighter, and Lahm, who was the experienced, the calmer, adult kind of guy. So everyone did their job just right.
And the question about them, a lot of the German players in the squad played together in Bayern Munich. That's a factor because the national coach does not have a lot of time when he gets them all together ahead of the big tournament. These are players that know each other. They play together for the entire season.
Yeah, I think it was also evident in Spain in the last World Cup, where you had most of the players from Barcelona playing. And once you get to know each other so well, then it's easier to reenact what you're doing in the team, in
Obviously,
the national team.
Sort of a blind understanding. Argentina was also seen as one of the favorites ahead of the tournament, but there's a big difference between what we have seen from them and what Germany has done. The Germans scored 17 goals before the final. Argentina, less than half of that, just 8. But a rather easy draw, a tough defense, and one Leo Messi brought them there. Merav Savir reminds us of the road Argentina had from the opening game all the way to the final.
Argentina is the survival team of the World Cup, and somehow they've managed to get to the final. Placed in a group with the inferior Bosnia, Iran, and Nigeria, it seemed an easy path to the last 16. In the first game versus Bosnia, the Argentines barely beat the first-timers. A third-minute own goal for Bosnia was the difference maker. At the time, fans thought the narrow victory was a good thing for the team.
We had little intensity, one lucky goal. We need to grow lots because the team will not go very far like this.
Iran was also a battle for Argentina. The game was scoreless until the 90th minute when Leo Messi, who the team has been relying on, came through again, saving the squad. And against Nigeria, the Argentinians gave up the most goals in their World Cup games. But 2 goals from Messi and 1 from Rojo once again saved them, sending them to the last 16 as the top squad from their group. But the game was a close one. Once again, it was their star who had to take over.
With due respect to Messi, maybe without him, Nigeria would have beaten Argentina. But it was a very good game. I'm sure FIFA itself will be happy seeing this game. And our joy is that we have moved to the next round. Yes. Watch out for Nigeria.
And things haven't looked up since then. They have yet to shine like people hoped they would. In the 3 games since group play, the Argentinians played 330 minutes and scored only 2 goals, but have yet to concede any. It took extra time and penalties for them to overcome the Netherlands, who this time were surprisingly in less of an attacking mode than usual. But the squad fought to get where they are today, and know there is hope against the Germans.
I believe that we are at the final for a reason. It's not by chance. I believe that we have been doing a great World Cup, and the final match is the final match. We will do our best to win it.
On Sunday, the lackluster Argentines, who have so far found a way to win, will take the field against the charging Germans. And as we've seen so far, don't make any bets on either side yet.
Uriel, we saw all along the tournament what brought Argentina to the final is tough defense. Is that what Argentina can do? That's what they're all about?
Well, right now, yeah. I mean, they didn't develop any attacking game or attacking flow in a way. You know, you could say it because Di Maria was half injured and Aguero came in not the fittest into this World Cup.
Even when they were there in the group stage, they never impressed.
Yeah, and you also didn't have the intensity and energy of Tevez, who was, you know, at home. So they relied on Messi, and I think teams that relied on one star, and you can see it in Brazil or maybe Portugal, they basically failed.
Maybe even Uruguay.
Maybe even Uruguay, because you had Germany, which was the team which won it as a team, and this World Cup is about teams. You know, it's about teams that play right. Chile was very impressive because they didn't rely on one star. You know, they have very good individuals such as Alexis Sanchez and Vidal, but they didn't rely on them. And teams that did rely on stars such as Argentina and Brazil, Neymar, Portugal, they hardly impressed. By the way, the best player in the tournament is James Rodriguez, who, you know, Colombia didn't rely on him. You know, they played for him.
The most important player in Colombia stayed at home due to injury, Falcao, of course. And then came the final. It was a long night with millions in Argentina and in Germany just waiting to take on wild celebrations. But there can only be one winner, and it was Germany.
For the 250,000 fans massed in front of Berlin's Brandenburg Gate, it was indeed a night to savour. On the other side of the world, in Rio, Germany saw off Argentina 1-0 to secure a 4th World Cup title. But it was a nerve-shredding match, needing a goal in extra time from substitute Mario Götze as the Mannschaft clinched their first global crown since 1990.
For sure, we were scared, but then we had Mario Götze, and afterwards, Germany won.
Now we've done it. We've won.
It's beautiful, and it's been so long. Germany are world champions.
For Argentina, meanwhile, despair. Up to 100,000 of their fans had made the trip north to Rio, most of them without match tickets. Hopes were high that 4 times World Player of the Year Lionel Messi might help deliver a first title since the glory days of Diego Maradona. But in the end, Germany had the edge, just like they did in Rome 24 years ago.
I think Argentina played really well. We played a good game and, well, we had bad luck in the end, but in the first half, we could have scored.
It was a fourth World Cup final victory for Germany and a first for a European side in the Americas. And the good news for German fans, the majority of this all-conquering squad should be around to defend the title in Russia in 4 years' time.
And Auriel, I think this final depicted everything we spoke about so far. Argentina relied on one star. He was not there. They were stuck. The only chances they created came out of German mistakes. Whereas Germany, they played and played until the chance came from a player that started even on the bench.
Yeah, I think eventually, and we saw it throughout the World Cup, the quality shone through. You had it in the early rounds where you had the quality teams going to the knockout stages, and in the knockout stages, the smaller teams might have challenged
all teams that finished the group stage in first place went through to the quarters.
Exactly, and in the quarters, you can't say that the worst team went through. The best team, the best quality team, always went through. Even Brazil had more quality than Colombia, and that's why they won. So when you have quality players, and eventually football is about players, okay? You can, coaches and managers and nations have their say, but it's about players, and it's about controlling the ball with the chest, knowing how to kick the ball right, and that's what wins you the game.
So Germany is the winner, and of course the joy on one side is the agony on the other side, and what was meant to be a night of celebrations in Buenos Aires turned out to be a night of sadness, which soon turned to violence. Raf Savir with the story.
Celebration time in Germany. Thousands flooded the streets of the capital to celebrate the country's fourth World Cup victory, some with tears of joy in their eyes. It was a different story for Argentina and its fans, many with tears of anguish, and some with respect for what they accomplished.
They did everything. They beat each other up, but the Argentines did very well. I congratulate them. Very good.
The team played very well. Really, they gave it their all from the beginning. It was fantastic to see how they played. In truth, they deserved to win. It's true. I'm very happy, excited even if they've lost. But I'm happy.
But most didn't share this view.
It was really ugly. The only thing I thought was that we were going to come out champions and that this would be a party, and this ended up not happening. Ugly, ugly. Because we ended up losing 1-0.
Scuffles broke out in Buenos Aires between youth and riot police near the iconic obelisk monument, where earlier tens of thousands gathered to watch the game. Fans climbed on buses and lampposts, many chanting Argentina, Argentina. And even 3 hours after the final whistle, riot police were still trying to disperse them, using tear gas and water cannons as the youth threw rocks and tried kicking down storefronts. According to some reports, 15 police were injured and around 40 people were arrested. Regardless of the violence, Argentinians cheered on their national team and praised their international star Leo Messi, even with their dreams of a World Cup victory shattered.
Real Argentine fans are disappointed. Unfortunately, it seems they'll be disappointed, as it seems, for a long time. Their squad is very old. A lot of them will finish playing for the national team soon, and there's no backup, no younger players coming up.
Yeah, it seems that Messi had his last chance of winning the World Cup, this World Cup. I don't know what's going to happen in 4 years' time, but it's going to be very difficult for Messi and Argentina to win it, maybe to win it ever again. So yeah, it's a missed opportunity for them now.
Now, you speak about Messi. He was given the trophy for the best player in the tournament. Looks like a joke. Yes, he's good. He wasn't even the best. He wasn't even the best player in his team.
Yeah, I mean, why not give it to Mascherano? He was a better loser. Okay, but. FIFA and their decisions is not something that we should rely on, really. I think Messi, his legacy is still intact, in many
Obviously,
ways.
He's a big player, but he cannot take a team on his back. Maradona could. Messi can't.
I think,
we see that in Barcelona.
Yeah, but I think Messi grew up as a team player, and he needs a team surrounding him. That's what makes him such a great player, because he's a team player in a team sport. It's hard to come in as basically a foreigner, because he's from Spain since he's 13, and take the nation on his back. I think it's unfair on him, and the comparisons.
It was just too much to expect from him to take such a team, not a brilliant team, and lead them. He cannot do that. He needs the team around him.
Yeah. you need a team to win the World Cup. It's in soccer, which is a team sport.
Yeah, obviously Argentina not there. Germany looks very promising. Argentina, as you say, not so much.
Yeah, I think England would love to get them next World Cup, maybe. You never know. You could get the right blend of players and they could make it, but it doesn't look promising.
We will see what Argentina is through. Uriel Dascal, thank you for being here today and all throughout the World Cup. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it for us. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.